Yes, I am here today with the main man. As I said, I did promise an interview, and I actually managed to get a hold of this guy and well, talk to him. As I said, I constantly name drop this guy on stream. He's one of the few people that actually stream Tekken alongside me, which is such a privilege because like I really can't find anyone else doing this except the two of us. So anyway, without further ado, here's TheMainManSWE. I'd like to welcome you to the stream, and yeah, what can I say? But everybody, give a welcome to the main man.
Well, thanks, dude. Thanks for having me. And yeah, you actually found the biggest Tekken nerd on the planet. That's quite impressive, actually. And it was so nice to come across you, another dude from Sweden who loves Tekken and streams the game. I thought I was the only one.
Yeah. I actually found your videos on YouTube. I don't know when I started watching them, but I started looking at Mishima combo videos.
Oh, cool.
To actually improve, and then I noticed, well, this guy's from Sweden, right? And then I found out that he's actually well, he streams too, which was really cool. So with that, what can I say except it's a real honor to have you here, because personally the skill level between us two is just it's silly, because I'm a Marauder and I believe you're a Gembu.
Yeah, I was a Genbu. I got demoted actually, so heavy man tiers.
Yeah.
But I'm doing rather well, and of course I use characters that are not super easy to use online.
Yeah.
I mean, the smallest amount of lag and suddenly your backdash and your electric is not on par.
Right.
But it's an honor to be on your stream. I mean, I checked out your website, your YouTube channel, and you guys do some really awesome stuff. So I mean, the honor and privilege is on my side.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna just introduce just some questions here. I was just wondering, how did you get into Tekken?
It's pretty interesting. I've been playing Tekken for 20 years. I'm 29 now, so I've been playing since the first game came out. Right. And it was my father actually brought me a PlayStation magazine, and it had some pictures of Tekken, and I was like, that game looks awesome, must buy, must play.
Right.
And I just went out, got the game, and I've actually played it since then. I've never stopped. So it's like love at first sight, but it's a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually remember when Tekken 3 came out. Today, some people consider Tekken 3 to be the best one, and now I don't agree with that, because obviously it's a little bit outdated and broken, but back in the day, I actually remember my friends complaining about Tekken 3, saying that Tekken 2 was way better. And hearing that is crazy, because like, obviously these days, these old Tekken games are just, they're pretty much a novelty, because they're so broken and stuff like. They're still fun, of course, but when people actually compare Tekken 3 to Tekken Tag 2 as some sort of like serious competition between the two games, it's ridiculous. But when I started playing Tekken, we actually spoke a little bit before I started streaming here, but the first Tekken game I played was Tekken Tag 2. Not Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 2. We had a bowling alley, and you guys know this story. I've told you guys this story before, but I thought I was the best player in the world in this tiny little bowling alley. You know, I used to be literally the king of the Iron Fist tournament, right? But you know, me and my little pants, you know, thinking I was the highest, mightiest Tekken player ever, and it turns out I was just shit. I was shit at the game, because one day when this kid comes along, whoops my ass at it, and I thought, the one thing I'm really good at in this world, I've been just crushed. Tekken is not for me, and I literally went through like a little kid depression, because I thought, well, I'm shit at everything now. So I was just in this melancholy state, eventually until Tekken 3 came out, and I started considering myself good again, until it happened again. One of my friends came along, kicked my ass at it, and I didn't play Tekken until Tekken 4 came out again. And then I have accumulated enough skill to actually play it competitively, I would say, but But yeah, for me, Tekken has always been a series of frustrating life events, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all gone through that. I had the same phase when I just played at home back in the days when we didn't have the online mode in Tekken.
Yeah.
Like in Tekken 5, for example, and I would play my brother, and I would play my small circle of friends who actually played Tekken, but who were complete scrubs, obviously.
Yeah.
So I played them, and I thought, holy shit, I'm rubber good.
Yeah.
I have to be the best player in Sweden, at least. I mean, at least. And then, of course, you would go to like Dragon's Lair, which is a local online cafe here in Stockholm, which has a couple of arcade machines. And I would there play some Swedish pro Tekken players, and they would completely hand me my ass. And it was so eye-opening, because suddenly everything I believed in, as you said, was... yeah, it was gone. I realized that I was a really bad player. It's horrible, but that's known as the bedroom warrior syndrome.
Yeah, definitely.
You're the king of your bedroom, and suddenly you're just in this big illusion where you're the king of a game, but you just don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I think it's an important life lesson. Don't ever think you're good, because it's always somebody that's better than you.
Yeah, but that's completely true, and you have to try and stay humble, but it is hard, of course.
Yeah,
it is hard.
I think it's actually more frustrating, because obviously, as you said, playing with friends and in the arcade, it's more relieving in a way, because when you play online, you don't know who you're playing as, and you don't know you can't actually talk shit to them, because when I got my ass whooped in Tekken, I could locally tell them, "Oh, fuck you," you know, but when I'm playing against people online, when I'm playing against, you know, fucking Lars players that just spam shit, it's like, I can't tell this person to, like, fuck off, because I could send him hate mail, but that's too much an inconvenience. I can't just locally just tell him... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it takes like 5 minutes, so by the end of a message, you're completely calm, and then you're like, oh, this is a bad idea, this is lame, I'm not going to send this message.
Yeah.
But I find it interesting that it's so important to you that you need your opponent there physically, so you can give him your middle finger and tell him to go F himself. That's fantastic, actually.
Yeah. I guess it's sort of like... I guess it's more like a sport element, because you physically wear your opponent down with these, like, mental torment things. Like, if you tell him his shit, it's gonna get to him. Because when I played Tekken 3 with my friends, all I would do is like, oh, you can't fucking beat me, I'm the best, you know, Jin player ever. And you know, it worked. For a while, at least, until a kid that actually played True Ogre was like... whooping my ass, and I just gave up. You know, the shit talking stopped, and I just went into this, like, you know, fuck Tekken state.
Oh, come on, you just gave up.
Yeah.
And try to adapt. Fuck, man, holy shit.
Anyway, I think Tekken is such a great game, and I definitely think it's definitely, well, if not the best Tekken, well, rather, fighting game right now. I think Tekken Tag 2 is definitely the best one. I think they did a great job balancing all these different characters. It must have been such a hard task for Harada and his co-workers to do this, because, I mean, not of all is perfectly balanced, but I think they did a fair job.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. You have like 50 characters, and they are all individually extremely balanced. I mean, you have some bad matchups, certain characters against each other, but the balancing job Namco has done, it's truly terrific. But I do have a problem with the character roster, and to me, it's just too many characters, too many options.
Yeah.
Even with 20 characters, you have to remember that each character has 100 to 150 moves in their movesets. And with 50 characters, I mean, it's just too many. And this is why I think a lot of people are alienated by Tekken.
Yeah.
It's just too... I mean, if you would just count the amount of 10-hit combos in TTT2, you'd probably end up at like 100 strings.
Yeah.
It's just too much. So I'm glad that in Tekken 7 they're actually scaling down the roster. We will see about 35 characters.
Yeah. I am obviously very excited for Tekken 7, because again, I always hype up Tekken stuff, and it's not always it never truly clicks for everybody at Vinesauce, because we don't necessarily stream fighting games all the time, but the times I can do it, I really try to tell people how great of a game this is. But it's kind of hard because, again, Tekken's learning curve is so extreme in a way. I mean, it literally takes years to really get good at this. And if you compare Tekken to a 2D fighter, which is just so much easier to get into, it's hard to tell new players to, you should really try out this game, it's really fun. But here's the thing, it's not really fun if you don't know what you're doing and the complexity of the combat. So if you truly want to appreciate Tekken, you have to really put a lot of time into it to learn it.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely correct, of course. I mean, if you just take the base element of movement that we find in Tekken, which, I mean, it's a must-have. Without movement, you're a sitting duck, it's over before the match even begins. But proper movement takes, like, years to practice to a decent level.
Yeah.
I mean, the average player will spend like three years, I think, mastering movement. And then, of course, you have knowledge. I mean, how do I punish all the different characters?
Yeah.
It can take 1 year to learn to punish 2 characters properly.
Yeah.
So as you said, the learning curve is just, dare I say, retarded.
Yeah.
Most 2D fighters are easier to get a grasp of quickly. But I think that this is almost a negative point to Tekken and a plus side to games like Street Fighter, because Street Fighter, quickly you will get a good grasp of the fundamentals and it will be all about strategy.
Yeah.
Whereas in Tekken, for the longest time, it will be all about, and that really has nothing to do with strategy. It's just finger dexterity. So it's like you have to do push-ups basically for 3 years before you can have fun in Tekken.
Yeah.
It's rather lame, and I can understand that a lot of people don't feel they have the time to do that.
We had a little another streamer at Vinesauce, Hootie. We actually had a Fight Till 10 event.
Okay.
I challenged him in Street Fighter 4 and he challenged me in Tekken. Now the thing is, I'm a 3D fighter guy. He's a 2D fighter guy. Turns out I won straight 10s in Tekken and he won against me straight 10s in Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
It was kind of funny because I thought I was at least competent in Street Fighter, because I have obviously played since the SNES era, Street Fighter 2. But again, 2D fighters evolved too, and I really didn't understand all these new concepts in Street Fighter. I mean, I know since Street Fighter 3 they had a lot of complexity to it and stuff like that, but I really didn't have a clue how to play Street Fighter 4. But I did win a few matches at least. We didn't win a round of it. I won a round, but not a match. But I relied on the old Ryu, Hadouken spam. So,
the classic Uber strats.
Yeah, exactly.
Hadouken infinite from the other side of the stage. Yeah.
I believe that's actually adapted into professional play. It's called zoning.
Yeah, exactly. I was so surprised to see that when I checked out a Street Fighter guide.
Yeah,
it's called zoning. Cheap bastard.
It's bullshit, because it's just. It's not a tech. It's just playing a bad way. It's just like spamming the same thing. It's ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't really necessarily play Street Fighter, so I can't really judge or criticize it. But for what I know, it's definitely a complex game. But it is, in my opinion, a little bit easier to pick up than Tekken, because 3D fighters they have this. It's subjective what you do, depending. If you're standing a little bit to the left, to the right, if you're crouching, everything is so subjective, and the timing of it is crazy. But again, they're both very complex games, and I have a lot of respect for 2D fighters. But personally, for me, the depth, and I don't know why this is, but when I play Tekken and I really punch somebody, it feels like it really connects and I really punched somebody. In 2D fighters, it's more like I don't know, it just feels more plastic and fake. I guess it's the 2D aspect of it, but anyway, I just wanted to know what your opinion is. Why do you think Tekken is so good yourself?
Well, I mean, you've covered some of it. Mostly the complexity of a game. But I'm a huge Mishima fan,
Yeah.
actually. The few of you who are on the stream and who know who I am know that I play the Mishimas a lot, and particularly Kazuya Mishima.
Yeah.
And it's actually the story that drew me to the Mishimas, and that's actually one of the main points of Tekken that I cherish the most. It's the story. I mean, it's pretty banal and geeky, but the story means a lot to me, and of course the gameplay of the Mishimas, you know, the extreme execution and the strategy, and the fact that it has nothing to do with doing strings, you know, or spamming combos, but it has everything to do with placing one move, the EVGF, very well.
Yeah.
And that to me, it's like doing drugs. I mean, I'm completely obsessed with it. And I always want to do better.
Yeah.
But I would say the story and the gameplay mostly of the Mishimas. All the other characters to me, they're a bonus. I play Tekken mostly for the Mishimas.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I only play Brian. I actually only play Brian. I'm not actually that invested in Brian's story. It's more about the Mishimas. I don't even play them that much. But I think that Tekken 4, for me, it hadn't the best gameplay. But holy shit, Tekken 4 story and the character development is just beyond anything else.
Yeah. That sums up my feelings with Tekken 4. I mean, to me, it's in some aspects, it's the best Tekken game. Story-wise, music, the design of the characters and the stages. It's so, what you say, it's so overlooked.
Yeah.
Most pro Tekken fans hate Tekken 4, thanks to the gameplay. But it's a really good game, really.
Yeah. The thing that really drew me to Tekken 4, like, I couldn't believe, I had known the story of Tekken. Basically, for new viewers that have never seen or heard about Tekken, I can summarize it very shortly. Basically, the son of a evil empire gets thrown down a volcano. The son is badass enough to walk out of the volcano, doesn't get killed, and he's like, I'm gonna fuck you up. And that's basically Tekken. But what you develop in that is like, how can you take a story like that seriously? But Tekken 4 actually did it. I don't know how they did it, but I actually got invested in the characters, and I wanted to play as many characters as possible to see their point of view. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, take Kazuya's ending in Tekken 4, or Jin's ending, or Heihachi's ending. They have a lot of dialogue, and the ending is like 2 minutes long, and holy shit, there's actual emotion on the screen. It's not just a 10-second CG sequence of someone getting punched in the face.
I want to really... I hate to interrupt you here, but I have to say... Tekken 1's endings are among the finest CGI work I have ever seen. I'm gonna show the stream right now. If you guys have never seen this, you have to see Kazuya's ending. It is nothing short of legend here.
It's fucking brilliant.
I don't know when Tekken 1 came out. Was it 96?
No, 94.
94.
Arcade.
And it shows.
It shows, yeah.
Look at the smile at the end. He's like, So, again, how can you take something like that into something you actually care about? I don't know how they did it, but goddamn, I love Tekken 4. I know a lot of people will crucify me for saying that, but I seriously think it's one of the best Tekken games. I consider it better than Tekken 3. But
I do as well.
Yeah, it's a great game, and what I'd like to see is actually Tekken 7 going back to kind of the roots, because I think Tekken 5, the Jinpachi story, okay, but god damn it, I want to see that like grittiness back, because I hate it when they do these like big bad bosses, and for if you don't know, Tekken 7 is gonna have, I believe, Kazuya's mother, right?
Yeah, Kazumi.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but if she just turns out to be one of the big bad bosses that you have to defeat at the end, and there's no like repercussions or story that really is affected by the fight, it feels meaningless for me. I want to see like the characters develop in another direction, you know.
Yeah, but unfortunately, everything points to her actually being the boss of the game and actually having. I don't know if you saw this in the trailer they released for the game, but you see her in devil mode.
Yeah.
Devil Kazumi, and yeah, to me, they just kind of ruined the story because now it's not so much Kazuya who sold his soul to the devil, but more he genetically inherited some devil gene.
Yeah.
By complete accident from his mother, and suddenly Kazuya is reduced to nothing but a tool in the story.
Yeah.
Prior to that, he was a character with motivation, you know. So, I mean, I do, as you said, like the fact that we are going back to the dark, gritty theme like Tekken 2 and Tekken 4. But I'd rather see them focus on the old characters and not always have to bring in like an old Mishima like Jinpachi or now Kazumi. We already have really cool characters. We don't need anything else.
What I'd like to personally see is I think they're playing it safe with Tekken 7. The CG renders, it honestly looks like the same thing. Like, it's Tekken 6. What I'd like to see is something fucking crazy. Like when Tekken 4, they just did this new character designs. They just did something new. They didn't go, like, completely crazy with the design, but what they did is, like, they really tried something new. What I'd like to see is Namco actually doing something like they did with Soul Calibur, age the characters up really further, and see what actually happens, because, like, yeah, we're kind of stuck in the same thing. Like, it doesn't really... Honestly, I would have been okay if in Tekken 5 if Heihachi really died, you know. Just to, like, completely spruce up the story, you know, something crazy like that. What if Kazuya, you know, becomes the new Heihachi? He's, like, really old, you know, something like that. And Jin, you know, there's so much potential, but in Tekken 7, they're basically just pulling another big bad at the end and calling it a day. So, I don't know, but I'm still very much looking forward to Tekken 7. And I believe we're actually getting gameplay next month.
Yeah, the weekend 3rd October to the 5th October, we're actually going to see some location testing from Tokyo.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really awesome, although they have said that only 20 characters will be playable, and the gameplay will not be what we will get in the final product. And the graphics will only be there to about 50%, so it probably won't look that terrific, but it's going to be a lot of fun to see the changes they've done to the gameplay, because I'm just hoping it's not, once again, Tekken 5 on steroids, because that's what we've had the last, 4 games.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is the future for Tekken?
Well, I mean, they are actually advertising this game as the final battle and the conclusion of the Mishima saga, so I'm just at least hoping that it's not the last Tekken game, and it might be the last game with the Mishimas, but then I don't know what kind of reboot they're going to do, if they want to jump like 30-50 years with a lot of kids to the current cast, I don't know. But the future of Tekken, if I held the controls, you know, if I was the director, it was to do as you said, to jump 20 years, Heihachi dead, Kazuya is Heihachi's age now, so he's about 70, 80 years old, and he has a beard, and he's badass. Jin is middle-aged, and he has a daughter who fights like Devil Jin or something like that, the Mishima Ryu style.
Yeah.
A lot of characters gone, replaced with new characters. I mean, as you said, like we did with Soul Calibur 5. And I would like to see a remake of the gameplay. I mean, keep the fundamentals of Tekken, but alter it in some drastic way, because right now it's getting pretty tired. I like to talk down Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and say, oh look, it's the same thing again, but lately I've been able to say the same thing about Tekken. We need progress now. And as you said, Namco is playing it safe. Yeah.
I just hope they don't make any big compromises, because I have a little bit of a worry, like, in my spine here, that they're gonna dumb down the gameplay to appeal to new players. Now, I don't really believe that they would do such a thing, but could you imagine if they simplified stuff so much that like wave dash is gone. You know, all this like stuff is so dumbed down for the new player that pro players suffer because of it. I don't see them doing that, but what if they did? What kind of repercussions would that have for the franchise?
That's actually fear among a lot of the pro players or the hardcore players who have stayed with Tekken for a lot of years. I mean, me included, 20 years. And Katsuhiro Harada, who is the director of the Tekken franchise, has actually said that they are going to make the game more appealing and easier for the casual crowd. And of course, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, I for one should have. I mean, I put down more time on execution than I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I would be sad to see that go. But I think it's a price I'm willing to pay if it means that the community can grow. Because right now, Tekken it's not dying, but it's a shadow of its former self.
I think it's not necessarily a shadow, but I think it's in a limbo of not really getting better or worse. It's just stuck. It doesn't move. There's nothing being done to really evolve the franchise. And with Tekken 7 being pretty much the same stuff, it's not gonna attract new players. But there's one thing that is actually very interesting, and it's this new Wii U game, Pokken Fighters. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Pokken?
Yeah.
The Pokemon versus...
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the trailer and I almost took a knife and cut my throat.
I think Pokken Fighters, I mean, here's the thing. I think, honestly, from my point of view, it will bring out a new set of players to the franchise, at least. Even though it might not necessarily be a true Tekken fighting game, at least it'll bring in new interest, players, and some blood to Tekken, because, again, it is not...
It probably could do that, but I don't know if they have released more information on the game, but from what I could see, it was only going to be released on arcades in Japan, but I may be mistaken about that. Do you know anything else?
I don't know, but my assumption is that they're going to try it out in arcades, eventually patch it, and then release it on the Wii U.
That probably makes sense. And I mean, if they did that, then of course, as you said, it might be able to generate some new fans to Tekken.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm actually gonna boot up something here that I don't know if you've heard about this, but did you know there's actually a lot of Tekken bootleg games?
No.
I don't know if you're on Vinesauce.com or if you're actually watching the stream right now, but there's not a lot of happening graphic-wise. But I'm gonna boot up Tekken 2 on NES.
Holy shit.
Yes, this is entirely real. It's an enigma of gaming. I've shown this before, but I cannot believe some bootleggers actually took Tekken 2, put it on NES, and said, this looks good, let's do it. Now, if you're a pro Tekken player, there's, like, I can't even describe this. It's the hellspawn of Tekken. I can't believe it exists. But anyway,
is it complete rubbish?
It's functional to a point where you can move, but you can't do anything else. You can forget about hell sweeps, you know, electric wind god fist. There's nothing like that, you know. But anyway, even speaking like that, I mean, you put a 3D fighter in a 2D environment and you get shit. Now, personally, I think Street Fighter vs. Tekken was kind of a disaster, honestly. I didn't like it at all.
I played it for 2 weeks and then I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
I actually took the CD, curb stomped it on the street below my apartment. It didn't survive. It's actually dead.
Oh, I gotta ask you, what do you think of Tekken vs. Street Fighter, the new one that's coming out?
We have only seen like we've gotten one animation, and that's Heihachi doing a Shoryuken.
Yeah.
We've seen an early model of Ryu.
Yeah.
But I think they also released a pic of Devil Jin and Evil Ryu. But other than that, we have like seen nothing. But we got some information on it earlier this year. Apparently, it's still in development.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, based on the information I have now, it's so hard to give an opinion. But obviously, I'm looking forward to to it, and I think that Namco is going to do something way more interesting than Capcom did, because what Capcom did was take some characters from Tekken and turn them into Street Fighter characters.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that in Namco's Tekken X Street Fighter, we will actually see Tekken gameplay characters go up against Street Fighter gameplay characters.
Yeah. One of the problems for me with Street Fighter vs. Tekken was that, I mean, I play Brian. It's necessarily my main character. I've actually tried to adapt Law and Brian into a combo here. It's okay, but honestly, I'd rather play solo. Now, it's become sort of a Vine Sauce joke here, but the Snake Edge right here is just... Everybody knows the Snake Edge. Everybody associates the Snake Edge with me.
I love how you say Vine Sauce joke, because Snake Edge, that's a global joke, dude. Everyone is the mighty Snake Edge online.
I don't know why it's with the Snake Edge and why I use it so often. I think it's due to the fact that...
People die. That's why you use it.
Yeah, people die at it. Yeah. It's such a good move in a way, because it's so cheap in a way, but people don't even like see it sometimes. You see it coming slow, it's predictable, but holy shit, sometimes people just swallow it, and you can juggle them, you know, up, down, and it's crazy, but for me, it's orbital, heal, or Snake Edge all the way, you know.
Yeah, it's so fucking frustrating when you play online and you play against someone who hasn't got the best connection in the world, and you're at yellow bars, you know, free bars, and you know that he is about to do a Snake Edge, so you can't take it on reaction, so you just duck stand, and then they, of course, as you said, do orbital heal or a Snake Edge and mix it up. And eventually, you notice that you have no hair left because you pull it out, every last hair, you know.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
If you're watching the stream right now, what do you think of Heihachi's 8-bit render?
Fuck, I'm actually not... I have to open it up.
I think you're gonna get greeted by a very, very good picture of Heihachi here.
I mean, I'm expecting something really awesome, so let's see if it lives up to that.
It's fantastic. They won't let you down. Gonna get greeted by...
Oh, shit! Yeah, that's like the mightiest Heihachi I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's got, like, he doesn't even have a haircut, it's just devil spikes on his head.
I mean, he looked fucking bad enough, you know, in 3D, but I mean, 2D, it's a whole other level of complete shit.
I gotta ask you, by the way, what do you think is the worst character versus, like, the best characters, and who's the cheapest in Tekken so far?
I mean, this is a very subjective question, but to me, I would say the capos, Capoeira, you know, Eddie, Christie, and I think the majority of the Tekken community agrees with me. I mean, ever since Eddie was released in Tekken 3, he has been known as the spam character. I mean, take your controller, tape your index finger to 3 and 4 and just start hammering away.
Yeah.
But I'd say Eddie.
I think it was a joke. I don't know if this is translated, if this joke translates into the American audience, but in Sweden we always joke that if you're completely shit at Tekken 3, pick Eddie. Pick Eddie. That's how you win.
Did too. It's basically pick Eddie. Oh, didn't he work out for you? Pick Safina.
Yeah.
Same shit, different name, but with tips, of course.
It also becomes sort of a Vine Sauce joke too here because I hate Lily and Asuka so much. Like whenever I face a Asuka or Lily player, I just die. There's no like maybe if I'm lucky, but every time it happens online, I'm just sighing and I'm like, well, here comes another demotion, you know. But it seems every Tekken player has some sort of like subjective opinion who's the cheapest. I don't know if that's subjective on who you're actually playing, but it seems that Brian is he's a slow player, or sort of slow character, and he can't just block whatever. Like, I don't know if it's Asuka's moveset or whatever, but those rolls just fuck me up every time.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it has so much to do with experience against that specific matchup, Asuka. Yeah. And Brian, he's a character that a lot of people say he's always so cheap online thanks to his Snake Edge, but Actually, he's one of the hardest characters in the game to master. He
Yeah.
has so many super technical moves in his arsenal, and of
Yeah.
course his taunts. I'm guessing you have mastered the taunt dash.
As much as I like to proclaim myself as quote unquote a Tekken master on stream, it's not true at all. I'm still a marauder, for God's sake. But anyway, I would say this: Brian is easy for new players to pick up, but he's got so much nuance to him. If you know, Brian can actually boost his own moves with a certain taunt. He raises his knee, does a little laugh, and one of his attacks as the Mac Breaker gets a buff. This is never described in the game, and you just have to find it out on your own. Stuff like that, and I don't know why I like Brian so much. I think I picked him up during Tekken 5, actually, not even Tekken 3, and I noticed, he does a shit ton of damage. He's technical, not to the point where he's impossible to play, but just fantastic overall. And my God, what the fuck is happening on stream? Heihachi and Kazuya is
I'm
just
saying the same thing. I mean, what the fuck is this? I mean, this is the first time I've seen this, and I'm the biggest Tekken fan on the planet.
yeah. I actually hate to say this, but there is actually another one, and it's Tekken 3 on NES. And I don't know if it's better or worse. I think I streamed it once, but it's sort of the same shit. I think it's the same shit so much that they didn't even add new characters. That's how bad it is.
But can you actually play Versus in this?
I have no idea, actually. I think it might be so broken that it just crashes if you select anything else.
That would have been godlike, honestly, if we could actually play against each other.
If there's some sort of net play connection thing we can set up in the future, I'd love to play some Tekken 3 bootleg, because we might be the only people ever in Sweden that have ever played this. This is so rare, obscure, and weird that, again, what the hell is this? But there you go, Tekken 3 bootleg. Anyway, speaking about Tekken, have you ever seen the Tekken movies?
Yeah, I've seen both of them. The live-action movie, the American one, and of course the CG one, Blood Vengeance.
Yeah.
And I actually think that the live-action movie is better.
I think a lot of people categorize video game movies as automatically shit. And while this is kind of true, I mean, what was his name? UV Ball? And he destroys every video game franchise in the movie. I think the Tekken live-action movie, it's not necessarily a cinematic masterpiece, but I think it's a competent watch. It's entertaining. While it might not be the Tekken canon, it's at least a movie that's watchable. It's not necessarily the Tekken movie I wanted, but hell, Brian was in it, so I was happy, but...
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, the dude who plays Brian.
Yeah.
It does a good job, and as you said, it's a movie where it doesn't bother me that much what they did with the story. I mean, having Kazuya as this rapist and the axe-wielding psycho.
Yeah.
My favorite character, and look what they did to him. I cried several nights in a row. But at least it works as a movie. You get invested in the story, somewhat at least.
Yeah.
But when I watched Blood Vengeance, it was so boring.
Yeah.
And I never understood why. I mean, the movie builds up to this Mishima epic showdown super fight, but the Mishimas have 2 minutes of screen time in the whole movie prior to that fight. So
have you seen the anime movie in the 90s?
Oh yeah, Jesus, I forgot about that. We have 3 movies. I'm a huge fan of anime movie.
Yeah.
Actually.
Do you like anime in general?
I mean, I haven't watched that much anime, but I did watch a couple of series back when I was a teenager, so that's 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But I do remember one that was pretty damn good. I think it was called X.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about what I remember about it.
Yeah. I've recently got into this fighting anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but It's a really weird kind of. It starts off as like Bram Stoker's Dracula, but it features Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star. It's like this punch-a-thon with vampires in it, and it's very homoerotic, and it's fantastic.
Whoa, I'm interested.
Yeah, definitely. But I wanted to say the anime Tekken is it's sort of like super cheesy shit, but at least it's entertaining. I think one of my favorite parts about that movie is I think it's Anna who gets eaten by a dinosaur.
Exactly. Satisfaction.
Yeah. Anyway,
like a really cheesy Anna online, then you just play that clip on YouTube and satisfied.
Yeah. What do you think of Evo, by the way?
A really cool tournament that I would like to see for myself one day.
Yeah.
IRL or whatever you guys say.
Yeah.
But really cool. I always try to watch the streams. And of course, they played TTT2 this year, and we got some really cool games. Did you watch it yourself?
I actually, I don't know why, but I was told this in post, but I heard that Evo wouldn't have Tekken, so what I did, I crossed my arms and said, fuck Evo, never watching it again. And I figured out afterwards that they actually did include it, so a big opportunity missed for me. I got my feelings in the way for that, so I totally missed the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on going there.
Yeah.
Actually, even with my girlfriend, bringing her, she wanted to see it as well. But then they said, oh, we're not going to have TTT2. So I made other plans, for the summer. Yeah. I mean, you go on a vacation in either case. And then, of course, exactly 2 months later, they say, oh, forget about that. We changed our minds. We're going to play TTT2. Yay! And I was like, well, no, there's no yay for me.
Yeah.
I already invested money in other stuff. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That's not a slap in the face. That's a huge drop kick to the balls. That was. I was so annoyed.
I think the reason they actually got rid of Tekken at Evo, or supposedly they would have, was because it was outdated, quote unquote, something like that.
Yeah, my god.
And that pissed me the fuck off.
I play Street Fighter 4, which from Street Fighter Third Strike.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, I don't want to say outdated, but I would rather say outdated about Street Fighter 4 than I would TTT2.
Yeah.
The tag system in TTT2 has never been seen before in any game.
Yeah. What pissed me off was that, again, the whole thing about... Again, I respect 2D fighters a lot, but goddamn, there's Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, there's Street Fighter, Ultra. There's all these, like, tiny updates, and that's, quote-unquote, updating the game, whereas in Tekken Tag 2, you have such a solid game, but because it's a few years old and it hasn't been, quote-unquote, updated with a new game, it was gonna be, cancelled out. And that's just poor planning overall.
Yeah, I mean, Capcom do know how to milk a product. I mean, they release Street Fighter 4, and then with every year, as you said, they do like a 5 megabyte patch that they charge full price for every time.
Oh my god, I have such a like, spiteful vengeance against fucking Capcom. What they did, I streamed a game called Azora's Wrath. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but it's this like cutscene anime-ish game. Really good, by the way.
I've seen footage of it on YouTube, and I really love those over-the-top Dragon Ball Z fights.
Yeah, they're great. But here's the thing. They fucking locked the true ending in DLC. And that's just bullshit, because the entire ending of the game is like a whole different game. It's like equally as long as the original game. It features, quote-unquote, the true ending. All this bullshit for, like, locked DLC. And what's even worse, Street Fighter vs. Tekken had on-disc locked characters.
Yeah.
You just... What the fuck, Capcom? I used to respect you so much, but the shit you're pulling is just... It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and of course they must have known that the first thing people would do was to get on the disc, and see what was actually there.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we have every damn character they have promised to release via DLC, and it's all there on the disc you've already paid hard-earned cash for. It's a really lame move on Capcom's part, and hopefully nothing we will see ever again.
Yeah. But again, it's all in the money. We gotta make money, you know. So.
But so you actually had to buy the ending to
Yeah, I actually had to buy the ending on stream, and I was pissed because, you know, I am a poor student. I want to eat too, and that shit's expensive, so it's fucking smarted. But it's true. I was actually forced to buy the DLC because I really liked the game, and I was like, really? I really have to do this? So
I just don't get the business model. I mean, I know that they want to make money as easily as possible, but when you buy a game, I'd say that the ending is something that should come with the product. I mean,
yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, it's awful. By the way, speaking about Evo and stuff like that, do you follow any Tekken players in specific?
I don't really follow any Tekken players. I just occasionally, like every few days, I'll go onto YouTube and I'll type in like Knee or...
Oh, dude, I was gonna name drop Knee. Holy shit, I love Knee. He's such a good Brian player.
I mean, good Brian player is like insert, I mean, pretty much any character in the game, and he's going to play that character to a whole other level than you'll see in Europe or America. He is so talented.
Yeah.
And of course him, JDCR. JDCR is arguably the best player in the world right now. I mean, it's either him or Knee or a guy called Saint, or, I mean, Help Me is also really good. Those Koreans really know how to play Tekken, but I mean, no wonder, as they've said on numerous occasions that they play 12 hours per day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not I'm not ready to make that commitment.
I couldn't physically even play Tekken that long because if shit starts to go really south for me in Tekken, I just lose all motivation at all. It's just like I'm just having one of those days where everything is going shit. People stream sniping, people just spamming, just unfair matches, and it's just like this. I think the worst I've ever raged at Tekken was back in the day when I played Tekken 3. I used to own 3 controllers I bought, and my mom was so pissed that she had to keep buying controllers. But what I did, I had these like angry ADD attacks where I lost, and I threw the controller against the wall so hard it left like a dent in it. So
anger management.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Even though I'm a calm, collected person, as I like to think I am, I still just flip shit when it goes south in Tekken. Like nothing gets me more angry than Tekken. I don't know why, but it's like it's a matter of life and death when I play Tekken, because I at least think I'm a competent player at it. And when I face bullshit matches, it's like a slap in the face for me. It's like a personal insult when people like pick what's his name, Dr. Boskanovich, and he does that explosive slide attack all the way.
My God, yeah. I mean, I forgot about him, but now you reminded me. He is probably the king of bullshit. Too. Yeah. So frustrating. I mean, yeah, the thing where he slides on the ground on his ass, you know, and they just press a button and he slides the entire screen. It doesn't matter where you are, you're going to get killed. And that's one out of I think about 90 teleport douchebag attacks he has. It's really tiresome because we had enough of those in Tekken already.
Yeah.
I thought about what you said earlier when you said that you get so frustrated when you lose. I mean, imagine doing what a lot of pro Tekken players do in the West. For practice and for boot camp, they go to Korea and play against the top players there for like a month.
Yeah.
Then they get home and they have lost their will to live, you know, because they've been beaten to a pulp, you know, 24 hours per day for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what you should do, you know, if you're depressed now, I'd love to see you come back from Korea, like, completely traumatized.
Yeah. I think it's some sort of like, you know, like, if I don't know why, but I think of like Rocky 4 when Rocky goes to, what is it, Russia? And it's like training in the mountains, and there's like a training montage. If you want to fucking get good at shit, just go through hell. Go to fucking Korea and get your ass whooped. But
yeah, in that training montage, and don't dare lose, because if you lose, you have lost the right to your testicles.
Yeah, I don't know why, but just Koreans in general. I mean, StarCraft is Tekken. It's hilarious how fucking good they are, because like I can play a video game and I can get semi-competent at it, but they just have this like this is not a racial thing, but it seems like Koreans and Asians, they're just much better at video games than the West.
I don't really agree there. I mean, they do play a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. They play, yeah, 12 to 14 hours per day, especially in China, of course, where they have these slave labor internet cafes.
Yeah.
It's completely crazy.
Yeah, I've heard
But
stories about people dying in internet cafes in China for like they played World of Warcraft so long that they actually like passed out and just became like a solidified zombie. It's crazy.
yeah, they usually find them, from what I hear, in the toilet.
That's Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at very strategic and complex games like Dota and StarCraft, there are actually a lot of Westerners, people in Europe, who are able to compete with the best in Korea and China and Japan.
Yeah.
But Tekken differs from those games in the sense that you need such hardcore execution,
Yeah.
and that's where you see who has played 12 hours per day and who has played 4 hours per day.
Yeah.
And so that's the advantage the Koreans have on pretty much everyone. It's the movement.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe the wave dash actually stemmed from Korea, right? The Korean wave dash, or is it that different from the regular one?
Yeah, it was actually invented in Korea.
Mm-hmm. If you don't know, a wave dash in Tekken is this like very spastic, fast movement done with a fight stick, and it has a huge tactical advantage over like regular D-pad users because basically you're moving like essentially like a butterfly. You know, you it's hard to predict. You can move up and down really quick, and movement is everything in Tekken. If you're not on your feet and you know what you're doing, you're gonna easily get beaten. So wave dashing is important for the pro players. Now here's the thing, I actually play Tekken with a D-pad and it fucking sucks because I'm restricted to a skill level that I can't evolve from. I'd love to afford a stick right now, but shit's expensive, it really is. But I feel like I've been bottlenecked by this shitty 360 controller.
Oh, what? A 360 controller?
Yeah.
Oh, you play on the Xbox?
Yeah, I do.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I was like, oh, it's probably playing on a PS3 pad, and that's okay because that's a good controller. But a 360 pad, yeah, I couldn't even imagine doing that. It seems so awkward.
It's awful. Try doing a Iwi GF with fucking with a D-pad on the 360. You're luckier to like win against knee, you know, if you've never played Tekken before. It's abysmal. It's impossible to do. So I've been bottlenecked by this awful piece of hardware. I think this controller is okay, but for fighting games, it just doesn't work. So yeah, I've been stuck with this ever since.
How come you haven't gotten a stick yet?
I don't know where to buy one, honestly.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah, I don't know. You got any tips for potential fighting game fans and any good websites to buy from?
Yeah, I mean, I would check. I guess most of you watching the stream are not situated in Sweden, but eBay is really good. And for you, I would say Blocket.
Yeah. One of the things that kind of worries me is that because there's a new generation of consoles, I think that, is it too late to buy a stick for TDT2? Because, like, when Tekken 7 comes out, it's gonna be on the PS4, and that won't be compatible with PS3 sticks. So, I don't know, what do you think about that?
I don't know a whole lot about the current gen consoles, PS4 and Xbone or whatever it's called, but there must be some... can't we get, like, an adapter? So that we can via USB on the PS4 connect like PSP controllers, because I don't want to give up my stick. I fucking love my stick.
Yeah, I love my stick, my meat stick. Anyway, I was gonna say, what is the stick you actually use?
It's a Hori Real Arcade Pro version 3,
right?
SA Kai, I think it's called. So it's a really long name.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. It's a Japanese stick with a ball type stick. And I actually started playing on Korean sticks where you play with a bat. But as soon as I tried a Japanese stick, I realized that, holy shit, this is actually faster. I can wave dash faster because the ball is so much wider and thicker than the bat but you need less finger movement to get inputs. But that also made it harder to play. It was much easier with that less movement to do miss inputs. But as soon as I mastered it, it was like heaven, you know. So I would recommend getting a Japanese type stick for you.
Yeah. What do you think of the Canva sticks?
That's the no, that's I played on a Sanva. Did you say Canva?
Yeah, Canva.
I don't think I've tried that one.
It's supposed to be like the top of the line right now, and where you want to get a good fighting stick. But again, I am completely alien to the concept of fighting sticks. The only fighting stick I've ever held in my hand was actually at the arcade back in the day in the bowling alley. So I don't know. I feel a little bit insecure about buying one because like. How hard is it to move from a controller to a fighting stick?
It's a nightmare. I remember when I did it. It took. I mean, the first month, you're just going to be like punching yourself in the chin because you're so frustrated. Nothing works, and you play at like 20% of the capacity you did on your, for example, on your 360 pad.
Yeah.
As soon as you switch to stick, you're going to play not even half as good. You're going to get completely killed and pummeled for at least 1 month. And you will give up several times and switch back to your pad and go like, no, fuck this shit, I'm giving up on the stick. But if you do hang in there, you're going to eventually realize that this is much more fun and it's much more effective. But it's hard work.
Yeah. I don't know if you're watching the stream right now, but I'm playing a Mortal Kombat bootleg.
This is the best thing I've ever seen. I mean, he never tires of doing that kick. And that guy with his front flip, it's like...
It's oddly reminiscent of some Tekken matches in a way. It's like they never stop doing what they're fucking doing. They never give up, and they always rely on the same sheep shit. You know.
I just don't get it. Well, which character are you?
I am Johnny Cage, and I'm just jumping around Kano here, and it's oddly working in a way. I'm gonna see if I have the notorious Mario fighter. I have a... Oh yes, here it is. It's made from Kony, by the way. I don't know if you've ever heard about Kony.
Kony? No?
Kony. It's like a Chinese bootleg Sony. And it has Bowser, Goku, Ryu, Sonic, and Mario in it. It's possibly the greatest game ever made.
It sounds...
Oh, yeah, it has a Ninja Turtle in it, too. I forgot about that.
And it even has a Ninja Turtle.
Yep. It's a...
Ninja Turtle. Hopefully Michelangelo.
Man, no, you know what's fucked up? The Ninja Turtle in this, it's Raphael on the thumbnail, but in the game, I believe it's Donatello.
Yeah, that's Donatello. I mean, he's supposed to have like a...
No, I'm wrong. It's Leo. It's Leo. The game tells me. And I don't know.
I like the open mouth, like, oh my god.
By the way, you got to check out this background. These bulls in the background, they animated it wrong, so they're running in reverse.
Wow.
It's truly a fantastic game. Have you ever played any bootlegs like this in real life?
I haven't, and I was just about to ask you, where do you find all this crap?
I find it in hell. Actually, I find it from...
You went to hell and you came back and with this, like...
You know what I did? I went through to get this ROM Kazuya style. I was thrown down a volcano and I emerged victorious.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you want to call it victorious if you're ending up with this shit, but actually, all this stuff that I'm downloading from is from a Russian... a ROM dumper, and everything is in Russian, so it's impossible to actually navigate. You have to like be lucky to find stuff. But I've actually had a lot of experience with bootlegs throughout the years. Back in the day, we had these Pokemon cards at the town market. We had this like little festival, and basically we had this guy from I think Turkey that was selling Pokemon cards, and all it was basically Digimon printed on Pokemon, and every stat was like randomized numbers from a calculator. And we loved these cards because we used to battle with them legitimately. So we had like a Digimon with 9 million health versus a Charmeleon with like 50 HP. So, you know, I was the shit back in the day. And here's the thing, our naive, gullible minds at such an impressionable age thought it was completely legit, you know. So bootlegs. I don't know where they come from and why they're made, but they fucking exist somehow.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a joy to watch because I mean, nothing seems to be working.
I actually have another surprise. There's actually Tekken 2 for SNES. They did not stop at NES. They went to SNES 2 in order to milk stuff even more. And the thing with Tekken 2 on SNES, it even crashes at start sometimes. It's not even properly programmed. That's how bad it is. But let's see if I can boot this up. Anyway, I had another question for you. How do you deal with rage on stream yourself?
Rage on my stream?
Yeah, when you get frustrated and stuff like that.
I've actually learned to try and cope with it because usually I can rage pretty damn hard and scream some not very pleasant stuff when I get comboed by ADs and Zapinas. I can get really frustrated because I just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But I actually took a break from a 2-month break from Tekken due to some personal reasons, and I came back just like a month ago, and I had a new perspective on the whole thing, and now I'm much calmer when I play, and I've just learned that with every loss I've learned something new. I mean, it's the classic cliche thing that everyone says, but you have to try and appreciate the fact that every time you get your teeth punched into your stomach, you've hopefully learned a new setup or a new punish on your opponent, and you grow at least. And you have to set aside your ego. I mean, everyone has an ego. Everyone wins a couple of games, and then suddenly you think, oh, I progressed. I'm much better now. I should be able to beat pretty much 90% of those who oppose me, but that's not the case. You're always going to, as we said earlier when you started this stream, there's always someone better, and he's always coming just around the corner, and you have to be ready for that. Don't underestimate anyone, and don't get upset at a loss because maybe you just didn't have the knowledge and you lost to someone who was worse than you. But then at least you start adapting and build on the knowledge of that specific matchup. But if you lose to someone who is obviously of greater skill than yourself, you should. I mean, I always just see that as an honor. To me, that's not a problem. But when I lose to a pro Eddie player, I think it's lame in either case, of course.
The game crashed, by the way. That's how good programmed this is.
It crashed. Come on. I was playing Paul's stage. That's my favorite stage.
There's also the fact that they didn't know how to program that you turn around. So sometimes when you cross the other player and jump over them, you're stuck in this like glitched out opposite view. You know, you're not even looking at each other. So fantastic game. Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask you this. A lot of people regard Tekken 3 as the best one. Is that because they grew up with it? Was the baby's first Tekken? Was it nostalgia goggles, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, it obviously has a lot to do with nostalgia. Mostly due to the fact that the gameplay leap from Tekken 2 to Tekken 3 was massive. That's when the game became a proper 3D fighter.
Yeah.
And of course, what they did with the aesthetics of the game. If you look at Tekken 1 and 2, they're pretty grim and dark when it comes to characters and the palette. The saturation of the colors is not that extreme. But with Tekken 3, it's very colorful and bright suddenly. And the music is also a tad more hip and populistic. But Tekken 3 has a big place in every pro Tekken gamer's heart, but as you said, it mostly has to do with nostalgia. I just can't see how someone could objectively say that Tekken 3 is better than, for example, Tekken 5 or Tekken 5 DR. Those games are so much better than Tekken 3. Of course, Tekken 3 is completely broken. I mean, Jin and regular Ogre, they're just too damn good, and Heihachi is really good. And I mean, of course, everyone who says Tekken 3 is the best Tekken game hasn't played it in about 15 years.
Yeah.
If they would play it today, they'd be like, okay, I was wrong.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, again, it's just simple nostalgia, because I had an argument with a friend about this. It was actually one of the friends I played Tekken 3 with back in the day. I'm just like, you want to play some Tekken Tag 2? And he goes, nah, Tekken became such shit. And I go, what? Why became it so shit? I don't know, man, but like it turned into crap, man. And I go, why? It's just like, it's not like Tekken 3. Of course it's not like Tekken 3. It got better, for fuck's sake. So
Yeah.
it's such a terrible like way of thinking. It's basically shit's different, so it sucks, you know. So I think that's the problem with why people don't want to get into Tekken anymore, because it's quote unquote changed.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that myself about 5,000 times with people I've met in bars, at school, at work. They always drop Tekken 3. Oh, you mean that game? Yeah, Tekken 3, that's fantastic. Oh, I haven't played any Tekken after that because it turned to shit instantly with Tekken 4 and or TTT1, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. But I think it's the fact that when Tekken 3 was released, it became this cult phenomenon, and everyone played Tekken. I mean, it sold like 7 million copies, I think. It's by far the biggest Tekken game. And after that, it just started dying out. I mean, dying is a pretty harsh word to use, but it was something about the timing of a release. Okay, Paul just looked like a complete retard, and it threw me off. It completely threw me off.
By the way, I don't like to spam in Tekken, but literally I am moving my D-pad around, pressing every button, but you can't do anything with Yoshimitsu. You can't even do back, 3, 3, 3. Like, it's just awful. Everything is awful here. Nothing works. It's so dysfunctional. But for
I just don't understand what's happening. It's like Paul, there's no recovery on the attacks. He's just doing attack, and everything connects.
Yep, imagine if this was Tekken 7. Harada is just like, fuck it, this is Tekken 7 now.
But this should honestly come as a mini game, like during the loading screen between fights. I mean, I would pay money to get this.
It's a grand game. Did you ever play Tekken Game Boy Advance?
I actually did.
You did?
Yeah, and I love the fact that during 100 years ago, I loved playing King and doing his chain throws, you know, where he throws the opponent like 50 times.
Yeah.
And I do remember that on the Game Boy Advance.
Dude, I hate to interrupt you, but the game exploded into graphics. You're gonna see this on stream in just a second, but holy shit, what the fuck just happened? This game just collapsed in itself. It imploded. I broke Tekken 2 on SNES. Anyway, continue.
Okay. Yeah, you turned it into Pac-Man.
Yeah, I think I did.
Something at least.
It turned into Modern Art or some shit. Anyway, yeah, it's you know, I'm gonna write to these bootleggers and tell them my Tekken 2 was not the experience I wanted. You guys disappoint me.
I want my $1 back.
I want my minimum dollars back that you stole from me. Well, by the way, how is the I don't actually know where you live, but you live in southern Sweden, right?
Where I live.
Yeah. Is the arcade scene still existing over there?
What did you say? Is it still?
Is it still like living, the arcade scene? Do you guys still have arcades?
This is the arcade scene here in Stockholm. We have actually, when it comes to Tekken, a lot of really good players in Stockholm.
Yeah.
We have Boris. His gamer tag is Emperor, and he's one of the absolute best players in Europe. He's really talented. So we actually have a couple of guys here you can call and meet up and play. But I very seldom do that because Tekken, I don't know what it is, but I have more fun with the game where it's only me and I play online and it's on my terms. You know, I can, whenever I want to, take a 15-minute break and sit on the toilet and take a luxury dump. You know, that means a lot to me.
Oh my god, I was gonna say actually, why stream Tekken? What is it about you that draws you to streaming it?
For the longest time, I did combo videos, and that's what a lot of people still know me for. It's like Mishima combo videos.
Yeah.
I didn't really post versus games, but then as I played more online, I was like, this is a lot of fun. I'd like to become a competitive player, and that's my goal. And as I saw people stream other games, I realized that, okay, if I manage to build a small following on Twitch, I'll probably have a lot of players in the chat who can help me with different matchups. And that's actually what I have gotten. It's so valuable. With every loss, like today I lost to Law, and I know how to punish some of the moves, but a lot of the stuff I don't know how to deal with it. And then, of course, I have someone in the chat saying, you're supposed to sidestep that move, duck that move, oh, you have an electric there, the main man. It's so valuable. So that's why I started streaming. But now I've actually grown very fond of it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a way I can interact with the small fan base I have in a way that was impossible via YouTube or Twitter or something else. You know?
Yeah.
But why do you stream Tekken?
I started streaming Tekken. I actually used to have this really bad capture card. I don't know if you're familiar with these, but they're called Easy Cap, and they're basically VHS machines in terms of quality. It's fucking crazy bad. So everybody didn't complain, but like personally, I felt the streams looked like garbage because it looked like it was recorded in the 70s on stream. You know, but I streamed Tekken Tag 2. I started streaming it, I think, a year ago. I think I started at like, Mentor. Now I'm a Marauder. So you see how much I've, quote unquote, progressed my skill with my incredible D-pad. But
Marauder rank, that's not bad. I mean, the green ranks, those are the nightmare ranks. That's where you get the most amount of bullshit.
It's like this testament where people either legitimately skill in the green ranks, or they're just there because of bullshit. They're there because of incredible game-breaking stuff. But personally,
good luck to you. I mean, I've been there, and I'm glad I left that.
Yeah, it's like stuck in some sort of like purgatory with either shit players or good players. Or there's a few matches. I actually met a true Tekken god once. Have you ever done that?
I've only. I mean, from what I know, there are no real true Tekken gods in online Tekken. Those are just boosters. So I'm guessing you played one of those, but I'm sure there are some true Tekken gods who know how to play the game. But you didn't face him in ranked battle, I guess.
I know it was player matches, so you might be right here. But regardless, he kicked my ass so hard that I was just like, you know what? Give it 10 more years and I might be able to get in that reach, but, oh, man. When I see really good players as yourself, it's an inspiration, because, like, you really realize that I can get that good someday. If you put enough motivation, time, and effort, one day you might get that good. So, when I see, players as yourself, or, fucking hell, like, knee play, it's like my jaw drops, because like for casual viewers they might not realize what incredible skill gets put into gameplay. There's so many button combinations, there's situational stuff, movement, there's so much going on when you play Tekken that
but I mean, Knee is a god and I'm a peon compared to him, but yeah, thanks for that.
Here's the rank. Like if Knee is god and you're a peon, then I'm a fucking amoeba compared to you guys. On the skill level, it's like, it's unbelievable. But I wanted to say that, Tekken is a fighting game where it rewards you for playing it and given so much attention to it. If you love Tekken loves you back. If you're not matching against bullshit players and spammers, but it's a great fighting game, and I can't wait to see what Tekken 7 comes out. If it's gonna be shit, if it's gonna be good, I'm still gonna buy it and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, indeed, Tekken is a cold, cynical bitch, but
Yeah.
with enough time and love thrown in there, she will eventually start patting you on the head.
Yeah.
But yeah, also looking forward to Tekken 7, of course.
Yeah.
But I'd love to stream like versus session with you one
Yeah,
day.
the problem is that I have a 360 and a PS3.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you know what we should do instead? We should set up something for the future where we're both playing Tekken Tag 2, not Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 2 bootleg versus each other, because there might be some way to set up two emulators and connect to each other, because who knows? We might get it to run. I don't know why, but something in the future, perhaps. Definitely.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And did you draw this Kazuya art?
Actually, not. This is actually art that was submitted to. We have a Boru that I'm gonna show you some of the amazing stuff people have done for me. This is from some. By the way, first of all, the thing that just got drawn is by a user called Cold Lord. This is another piece of fan art that was done a while ago from some scrub. You have that. You have. God, there's just so much. Even this is also from some scrub. I have this BRB image where I might get a glass of water, or in the picture as you're gonna see in a minute or two, me going to the bathroom, and if you can see in the background of this image, you see Brian Fury saying, "You sweep me off my feet," and elusive to the snake edge.
Yeah.
And even this Asuka saying, "Why don't you like my rolls, Joel?" So, yeah, we have a lot of fantastic artists on Vinesauce that really make some great art. And
yeah, I mean, damn, that toilet pic. I mean, it's pretty damn charming, actually.
Yeah, it's really fun to have so many people actually giving enough of a shit to watch you play Tekken and talk about it right now. We actually have 900 viewers right now watching this little talk about Tekken, so yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of a miracle.
Yeah. But anyway, I'd like to thank you for the interview here. I hope I didn't keep you or anything like that.
Oh, no, not at all. And thank you. I mean, it's a privilege.
Oh.
On my part.
All right. Well, if you guys want to check out the main man, he has his own Twitch channel, TheMainManSWE. You gotta, if you want, check him out. Follow him, perhaps. And again, I can't name drop this guy enough when I stream Tekken, because again, we might be the only one that streams Tekken, but goddamn, we love this game, and we if you guys are interested in Tekken yourself, then definitely go buy it. If here I am sounding like a fucking snake oil man saying like you gotta buy this game, but I'm telling you guys, if you really want to invest something that really gives back in terms of gameplay complexity, play Tekken, play it for a while, and really understand what you're doing, because you won't find a more fun online game. Personally, it's so relaxing in a way to play Tekken. It's like therapeutic for the soul in a way. But yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, up until the point when you start losing.
Yeah, exactly. Then you actually go into therapy. So, you know. But anyway, guys, the main man SWE joining us tonight. If you want to go check him out, the main man SWE. You also have a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, exactly, and it's also called TheMainManSWE.
Right, so check him out on YouTube. He has a lot of great videos for. I wouldn't really say. Actually, I have one more question. What is the most helpful tip you can give to new Tekken players?
You mean a tip?
Yeah. Well, what is the like recommended thing to do? Except practice.
This is such a hard question, because the game, there's just so many aspects to it. I think the most important thing for a newcomer to Tekken is to be able to keep up the inspiration and motivation to keep going. So what I have learned is that it's a mistake to tell people to work their movement. Rationally and objectively, I think that's probably the first thing you should do, get good at movement. But people find that really boring, so they give up quickly because it's so hard. So I would say that the first thing you have to do when you start playing Tekken is go through all of the characters, go through their move lists until you find the character you really enjoy not only his gameplay, his fighting style, and his moves, but his looks or her looks. You know, you feel like you can relate to the character. I mean, at least to me, that does a lot, and it seems to do a lot for others as well. I don't know, maybe you you agree here, but that to me is the big first step. And then after that, you should start playing online as quickly as possible. Don't play against the CPU, because the CPU, you will start building bad habits that are going to get you completely slaughtered online. So that's actually what I would say to a beginner. Take the time to go through all of the characters. Don't just pick the first one you think looks rather cool. Check them all out. Play a lot of online, and don't get frustrated at losses. It's a game where you really have to, from the get-go, appreciate the fact that with a loss, I gain knowledge. But it's easier said than done, of course.
Actually, disregard everything the MainManSWE has said. He's a shit player. The real Tekken players, they pick Eddie and they button mash. There you go. That's how you play Tekken. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you guys want to check out the MainManSWE, follow him on Twitch. Do you also have a Twitter?
Yeah, I have. TheMainMan_SWE.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for the interview. It was really fun talking to what I consider one of Sweden's best Tekken players.
Oh yeah, it's so flattering, and thank you, honestly. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, again, I think I've name dropped you a million times now, but all right, man. Thanks a lot for the interview, and I wish you the best in Tekken in the future. I hope you don't. I want to tease you a little bit, but I know you recently got demoted. You gotta get that rank up, man.
Yeah, rub it in, man. Rub it in. Yeah. But and good luck to you as well. I don't know if you play ranked battle, but we all need a pretty huge good luck when it comes to that.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Cheers, man.
All right, you guys take care.
Yeah, see ya.
Hey. All right, that was the main man. Really fun to interview him. What can I say except good Tekken player, an inspiration for us all, especially me, who is such shit at the game at a Marauder rank. So, all right. Well, as I said, I'm gonna be off for tonight, but again, check him out sometime. He's a really good player. He put some really good videos out there. So, all right, guys, enough Tekken circle jerking right now. So, I think I'm gonna end the stream with possibly the greatest ending in Tekken. Again, this is all from Tekken 1, but I've shown this a 1,000 times, I think, but it just gets better and better every time I show it, especially for the people that have never seen Tekken 1's endings. They are nothing short of amazing. Check this out. But I don't understand this. Is what is going on with this man's face? Is this law? Who is this? Is he having an orgasm? Is this a seizure? Is it a stroke? Is he mesmerized by money? Like, what is truly going on here? But I can tell you this. It's a million emotions. And it's all happening. That's a good way to end the stream. Alright. Stay safe tonight. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.